This is a WIAT 42 Storm Track Severe Weather Update.
Hello everyone, I'm Chief Meteorologist Mark Prater along with meteorologist Ashley Gann. We're still watching these storms very carefully as they move through our viewing area. All of the counties you see highlighted from the Mississippi state line across central Alabama into East Alabama along the Georgia state line. All of those are severe thunderstorm warnings. We have thunderstorms that have been producing not only gusty winds but also some hail. And at this point, the strongest storms are just north of Wedowee, tracking back towards northern Clay County, also in northeastern Talladega County. And look at this. Right now, Calera, you're getting hammered by a healthy thunderstorm. A lot of lightning with these. That's been a real concern, not only with the wind as well as the hail, but the lightning has been tremendous. That is now tracking across Highway 31 as well as 65. So driving right now along there, an absolute nightmare. Back down into Brent, Centerville Brent, we're looking at thunderstorms that are still severe, producing gusty winds. A lot of lightning. Some of the larger cells, though, that you see across Greene, back into Hale counties, just north of Greensboro. These storms are tracking towards the south as well, producing a decent amount of lightning, and you can see some of the spots that Ashley's putting on here. Sawyerville within the next 7 minutes, Belmont within about 45 minutes. This has been a very healthy line. It surged and then it's died off, but then it started to redevelop. So there's plenty of atmosphere to work with. There's plenty of energy in the atmosphere to work with. That's why we're seeing some damage reports across the area. And with those, let's toss it over to Ashley again. And Ashley, we've got a number of spots with trees down as well as hail. What's going on?
Yeah, lots of damage across the area. Today we are tracking not only some of the damage reports that we're getting, we're also tracking some power outages as well. We have some hail in Calhoun County that we want to show you. We're getting lots of live video and live pictures, so we want to ask you to continue to tweet these to us, WIAT 42, and we want you to continue to maybe attach them to our Facebook fan page too. The hail that you're seeing right now was sent in by Jennifer. Again, Calhoun County, look at this. The hail is large, and if you can actually see it bouncing off the ground there, this is probably at least nickel-size hail. This can be damaging, folks. If you see this hail, you definitely need to be taking proper precautions. Now let's switch gears, and we have some damage. I believe this is the University of Alabama, and that's in Tuscaloosa there. Trees down are in the campus there. Mark Mayfield, thank you for sending us this photo. Again, continue to send those pictures in to report it at WIAT.com. We also have some lightning. Look at this impressive lightning strike. This was in Trussville. Kind of amazing getting some of this video. Is that Lena that sent this photo in? The gray skies there as I was driving in, you know, the gusty winds. And fortunately, I didn't encounter too much wild weather on the way in today, but this is definitely images of why we tell folks in thunderstorms, it's only a thunderstorm, but look how dangerous that lightning can be. If you hear those rumbles of thunder, you need to just go indoors. That's the safest place that you can be as well. Continuing to look at some of the flooding that we're seeing, and this is, I believe, in Tuscaloosa, where we are seeing some of that flooding. And oh, actually 29th Avenue and 15th Street. This is where we're seeing flooding. And this is another image of folks, you just don't need to drive. We cannot
smart
tell.
Move right there.
Absolutely. Turn around, don't drown. It only takes about 4 to 6 inches of standing water to flood your car, and you can lose complete control because there's no friction between your tires and the roadway. So hopefully this car right here makes a good choice, and they're making a very good choice. Yeah. That was a wise decision there. At this time, we'll go ahead and send it back to the radar, and we can continue tracking what's going on across central Alabama. Mark?
All right, thanks so much, Ashley. And just to verify, I mean, we're seeing these images coming in from all over social media and from a number of spots across Alabama. So with these particular storms, while they fluctuate in intensity, that means we will see areas of hail, and then that storm may not produce hail for a while, and then it may resurge and start to develop hail again. It's very possible we're looking at that near Calera back over towards Montevallo. That stretches down into northern Chilton County. So for those of you who are in Jemison, this is headed your way. Mineral Springs, you'll be affected by this as well. Thorsby, we're looking at Thorsby in about 30 minutes. Now, this whole complex, which stretches back into West Alabama, has been drifting right down I-65 over the past 30 minutes or so. And looking at some of the storms, we actually have a little bit of a break right across southern Talladega County, and all of this may miss Sylacauga completely. And that would mean we're looking at a number of spots that have gotten rain, but a few won't. We also have a tree down, and this is on High School Road and Kenilworth Road. In Hueytown, where we've got trees down, we've actually seen trees down on power lines and a number of spots that have been, I-59 had trees knocked down as well in that area. But these are live images coming in. You can see that on the screen just to my right here. That is where the power lines are pushed over. We've had a number of places that have actually lost power. Lights been flickering, I'm sure, in many of these spots where we've had the storms, but Alabama Power numbers continue to go up, and they're updating us as we go through the afternoon. More than, I believe there was 10,000 customers that didn't have power at last check. Don't want to leave out these storms across northern Clay County. They stretch back into Randolph. Keep in mind, they're anywhere in here. We're likely looking at some hail, 1/2 inch to 1 inch. That still, as Ashley mentioned, that can do some damage. It's falling from several thousand feet in the sky. But some of the locations that will be affected: Highland in 8 minutes, Glades in 47 minutes, Mellow Valley in about 88 minutes, and about an hour and a half, we'll see Sykesville. Now let's take a little more. Yeah, we've got live flooding. This is a live shot in Tuscaloosa right now, the flooding. It doesn't seem to be extreme. It's near 29th. This is actually 29th Street, and it's not anything that is what we would expect as far as rushing water. That's where it really gets dangerous. But you can still flood out your car, and you would be stuck. So you don't want to do that. You see spots like this. Even though the water is flowing, it is not real heavy at this point, but that's enough to cause problems and help to stall out your car. So please just use common sense, and certainly don't drive across these areas. You can't see what's going on up under the top of the water. That's where we see washout, and that's why we see a lot of cars just drive off into a giant hole. Here are some of the spots across Tuscaloosa that are still getting some rain, and this is just adding to it. There's another batch of rain which is moving through Lake Tuscaloosa, back up towards Samantha, Coker. All of these are spots where we're getting a good steady rain, and that will track towards the south and east. And as it does, again, Northport, Tuscaloosa, aggravating the localized flooding, which we're already looking at right now. We did have a report out of St. Clair County. We're still checking on that right now, of a house fire because of the lightning strokes. And Ashley, we've seen a number. I mean, we're into the thousands of strokes of lightning. And that's really one of the most dangerous parts of these types of storms.
Absolutely. And one of the reasons we took the lightning off there, it's just so intense that you can actually, it's covering up the radar. There's so much lightning.
Yeah. And here's a live shot right now. Where is this again, John? This is on 59 North. We have a crew headed to Springville. Stefan and Marlon are on their way, and they are going to check out the location that was hit by lightning in the home there, and apparently it was pretty well engulfed earlier. And as we see the lightning on the radar to the right, that gives you an idea. There is a lot of electricity from cloud to ground. This is not cloud to cloud, this is cloud to ground. What we're looking at on the left side is flash flooding, and that is what we deal with in some areas. But you don't need to drive through it. Just take our word of caution, drive around it, especially something like this area. It only affects really just 2 streets, and that is on 29th. Now, as Ashley is zooming in, this gives you an idea. It's still a little bit of light rain falling, but Ashley, we're now looking at a live shot looking towards the south and east over 280. You said traffic was a mess. Yeah,
as we were heading down 280, almost completely came to a standstill, and then I realized the standstill was attributed to lights being out. Those are traffic lights that were out, so just use caution. I also got some text messages from friends in town living off Valley Dell Road. They have reports of power outages there, and even asking if they needed to go to their basement. I said, you don't need to go to your basement, but you definitely need to stay inside. And folks, you also need to use caution, especially if you're trying to make some driving plans. Again, we do not encourage anyone to drive through water that's ponding on roadways like we're seeing there. And lots of intense lightning, and actually pulling up at the station, you could see the light in the sky looking south. So lots of rumbles of thunder still being heard, even if that lightning and thunderstorm has actually passed your area. Still dealing with a lot of rain, though, there west of 65 from Birmingham, all the way back towards Columbus. We'll continue tracking the rain in Columbus because that's still tracking off to the south and to the east at this time, still impacting parts of West Alabama. Mark?
All right, thanks so much, Ashley. And just again, a reminder, all of the counties you see highlighted, Green, Hale, Sumter, Perry, Bibb, Chilton, Coosa, back into Talladega, Clay, Randolph, and Chambers counties, all under severe thunderstorm warnings. We are going to continue to monitor this throughout the rest of the afternoon and this evening. We will have much more information coming up at the top of the hour during our 5 o'clock newscast. We have a widespread web of team coverage and updating you not only on damage but flooding, as well as an update on the radar and how much more we'll have to deal with this. We'll certainly be here watching very carefully throughout the evening. For meteorologist Ashley Gann, I'm Chief Meteorologist Mark Prater. We now go back to Dr. Phil.
This has been a WIAT 42 Storm Track Severe Weather Update. Weather coverage you can count on.